Hey, what's up, fam? A lot of chunks were kind of thrown around within this chapter. We got a fair amount from. It was really split up between each of the groups, to be honest. I figured it'd be mostly about Shiki fighting Jin, and that's what I personally really wanted to. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I like seeing what all the other characters are doing, and obviously progression of what they're doing. But with Shiki, though, I'm a little bit surprised, to be perfectly honest, just given like his response to. I'll get to that in a second. So, starting out the chapter, we had Happy Bot talking to. I'm just gonna call her Witch now, since well, I'll say it in the end of the chapter, right? But not E4. I'll just call her Witch until a new name is given, since E4 doesn't seem to be the case anymore. But she's talking to Happy Bot, explaining how when the chronophage eats something, when it eats time off a planet, anything that wasn't present on there within that timeline would just kind of cease to exist. Like if they went back 1,000 years, your family line would kind of just it would resume where your family line was at the time. Obviously, the same way, like the planet would just be minus 1,000 years, continue the same way. But someone being there that wasn't there 1,000 years ago would just kind of cease to exist, kind of the thing. But after that, they're like, all right, we have an hour. We're gonna go down there and try and get everyone, try and save them so they don't get erased from time. That's what I was kind of talking about, though. A video I'm gonna put up later, probably the next few days. It reminds me of like a living version of the space in between time from Fairy Tale, but we'll get to that in a different video. Anyway, pretty nice fight between Shiki and Jin. A battle between more of variety users and kind of just I would say maybe kind of the reverse. When you look back at, say, Natsu versus Aragorn, it was Natsu's more like a onslaught power type. Aragorn is more of kind of like a ranged. He's got a little bit larger spread of a kit. He's got more to kind of drop. Where it's kind of the reverse now. Shiki is more of the variety user, and though does obviously have a bit of a level of utility to him. From what we've seen, his attacks are much more like large damage with his big slash attacks and whatnot. But with like Shiki, it's like, what does Shiki do? Shiki takes the attack. He's still fighting on. Uses his gravity wave. He's just pushing everything around out. Sets up to do his gravity comet. Not his full power one that we saw when he was fighting the LC Parasite. This was just like a seemingly a standard one. So he's still able to keep fighting. He hasn't used up all of his ether yet. Gets these like wind blade tornadoes dropped on him. They're still kind of battling it out. Whereas right when that kind of is getting to a really nice spot, the sister, in quotation marks, and Gandalf shows up, and she's like, "Ugh, I didn't expect you to follow me, but we'll deal with you now." While she tells Jin like, "Hey, go find the Liga and dispose of him. We'll pretty much turn him into a slave, or some form of cyborg, and we'll have his entire stock of finances and whatnot, so we don't have to worry about him trying to screw us over anymore, being as unreasonable as it was to kind of create this conflict between Iliga and sister." But he disappears like shortly into that, and Jin's like, "Well, I guess I'll find him." But Shiki is a little bit questionable on if that's actually sister. Says, "Never mind, screw it. You're bad. I'm just gonna assume you're bad. I'm not gonna treat you good." And he wants to fight all three of them at once. I don't know about Gandalf. It seems like Jin is competition for him. You could tell he's definitely strong enough to compete with him, but I'd say just kind of from the display, Shiki seems stronger. No, obviously we don't know anything about Gandalf. I feel like Sister, though, is stronger than he is. So let's figure out how things go. I'm guessing this is what I'm gonna guess how the fight's gonna go. Just a little bit of it. I feel like at some point in the fight, this version of Sister is gonna do something to piss off Jin. Maybe something's revealed, or he just doesn't want to be on her side anymore. Switches, and then he and Shiki fight Sister together. Gandalf, I can't really say because we don't know anything about him yet. We don't know his power is, or even his threat level. We don't. With Jin, obviously we've shown like we've seen how strong he is. We've seen like his level of skill and whatnot. And sister, you kind of just peg her as the boss character. So we know that she should be stronger than Jin. Again, if we don't know, but like looking at this here fight, and it actually was kind of cool. Look at her. She has this big, weird robotic tail, and she looks kind of human, but sort of not. It's an interesting design. I'm curious to know what that big robotic tail is gonna do fighting wise. Like, is it gonna shoot lasers? Maybe it'll be like a plasma cannon. That'd be pretty sick. Then we get the third set. We see Rebecca and that group that she's in looking for some girl named Copa, and Pino doesn't understand, like, why are we trying to save somebody? It's just one person. We should make sure that we get out alive, and we pretty much hold on to the efficiency and the best way to leave through like calculations and plans and whatnot. And Rebecca's just like, no, she was in this with us. We're not going to leave her here. Couldn't do that to her. And he gets kind of a little bit with Pino as she's trying to figure out what exactly, obviously as a robot, she wouldn't really get what friends really mean or any form of connection beyond stuff in her programming. Though she seems like, she's got an artificial intelligence. She doesn't seem as like very set robotic. She definitely seems like she has a lot of that in the mindset and will probably learn more like human tendencies throughout the story, which I think is pretty cool and a nice little thing for her character as well. And then to the last bit, we see Homura and Wise, and once they kind of sense something with the ether, they feel something kind of going on with it. They go and they get on that little glass panel elevator that we saw in the last chapter, and down to where they see the actual sister. And that's why I was saying, like, I'm not going to call her E4 anymore because they're calling this. Her name is Sister Ivory, Ivry. I feel like no, there's an O in Ivory. I'll just go Ivory for right now. It's Ivory, something like that. So I'm wondering why the witch didn't say her name, or is her name literally just Witch? I don't know. Maybe people when they've been saying, "Hey Rex, call her Witch," they keep calling her Witch. Maybe I've been wrong this whole time, and you guys were right. But anyway, nice chapter. I like getting bits from all these different characters, though. I would like a dedicated, just straight fight chapter within the next chapter too. That would make me happy. And I'm wondering if my theory is going to be correct on this fight, and Jin might switch sides. Because I don't think this sister is gonna be good. I think she's gonna stay evil. But I still think Jin is gonna become good. I like him. I hope his character switches over. I think he's really cool. But anyway, that's it for this chapter. Countdown for an hour until the chronophage get there, and might kill them all. Probably won't, but it'll be that wonder of how they're gonna get off. I think is where a lot of the excitement is. But anyway, drop a comment below on what you think about this chapter. I really liked it. Eden Zero has been really solid lately. Goddamn, Hiramashima he's setting up the fairy tale in the Eden Zero chapters to have similar little bits to them whenever they come out. Like the fairy tale chapter was mostly a setup, and we got a little bit from different groups of characters. We got the same thing with this one, though we got a little. Actually, no, I think we got about the same amount of action in both of them. But I enjoyed both. But I feel like I'll enjoy the next couple chapters for each of them a lot more than the one we got this week. And if you enjoy this kind of content, I ask you that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out my other content. And those who already subscribed, appreciate you. And otherwise, thank you very much for listening.